What is up, everybody? It is your boy, John to the Knob. Hope you guys are doing well. Staying safe in this quarantine. Just wanted to, say hi. That's what this podcast is about. It's just me saying hi. All right, good episode, guys. No, but just hanging in there in quarantine and whatnot. I think there are a lot of debates going on right now, both serious and not serious. So I wanted to talk about some of that stuff. Currently growing out my hair. I don't know what you guys think about growing hair and not growing hair, or shaving it off, I mean. Because I went on TikTok, and there was this girl who was basically like saying, if any guy sees this is the sign to not shave your head. And this was before states started reopening, and their barbershops started opening too. But she basically was like, you don't need to shave your head, it's not cute, I promise girls will like you with your raggedy hair. Which is, her intentions are good, but I don't think that should be the number one reason why you don't shave your head, because girls will want your long hair. That could be a reason, but no, I am doing this out of my own accord. I wanna, I've failed in the past of growing my hair, or not failed. It just turned out to be a fro, okay? And I don't know if you've ever seen a Mexican with a fro, but it don't look great. It kind of looked like a bird's nest. Just capping on myself, in 2016. It was alright at some point. I put it in a bun. It's fine. But anyways, what are you guys about? Guys, are y'all shaving your heads? If you live in Texas, I'm sure you're getting haircuts. Be safe out there. But what do you guys think? Girls, do y'all have a take on this? Do you think guys should be shaving their heads or growing it out? Since there's no office to go to, no manager is going to tell them, hey, your hair's getting out of control. Well, unless they are essential employees. But, yeah, I digress. On other news, I saw Uncut Gems last night. Uncut Gems was a gem, people. Let me tell you, Adam Sandler in the movie is great. The reviews are true. 5 months later. Or not even 5, 6 months later. Yeah, because it came out in December. So Adam Sandler's great. Julia Fox is great. Who else is in that movie? Apparently Elsa is in that movie. I had no idea, and I don't know her name. But my sister pointed it out, and she's Adam Sandler's wife. So I won't spoil too much, but Adam Sandler basically has a family, but he do a little dirty on the side. He do a little dirty on the side. And that's Julia Fox. But basically he's a jeweler, and he's in debt to, I won't say who, but he's in debt to this guy, and it's crazy. And Lakeith Stanfield's in it, and Kevin Garnett's in it, and The Weeknd is in it, and he has his old dude from 2012. I did not know about this. I'm shook. People, who didn't tell me that Abel Tasfaye was in this? Who didn't tell me that? I I'm livid. Yeah, when I saw him in the movie, or I saw him in the credits, it didn't. I didn't like. It didn't occur to me. But yeah, The Weeknd is in there only for a bit though. Won't spoil what happens, but it's a really good movie. It just came out on Netflix. Go check it out. It is a piece of film that I can tell you for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and get into today's first topic. Um, we're talking about modernism here, folks. Half of you are like, who cares about modernism? What is that? And the other half is like grabbing their pitchforks and grabbing their torches, their tiki torches, and is heading towards my closet asking why are we talking about modernism because they hate it so much. So I was talking to my friend Zachary, good friend of mine. He and I were talking about modernism in logos specifically, and how Twitter and a lot of people apparently just hate this modernism. If you look at all the big players in tech and software today, you look at their logos and they're just pretty like simple, and they're pretty like they're simplified logos of their past self. And the reason why people don't like this is because they feel like it removes personality from the original logos and like their companies and whatnot. But I disagree. But I'll continue like what people don't like about modernist logos. It just seems like very corporate office. Oh, this is what resonates with people right now. Like the numbers show it. We're doing what everyone else is doing. Like, oh, we're a bunch of corporate drones type of thing. That is what I'm assuming, and I have seen on the internet some articles, and that's pretty much the main point, that it removes personality and it's a calculated move by companies to sort of resonate with the younger crowd, which I don't see a problem with, because when a logo rebrand does it right, when you do the simple logo with a nice serif font. A serif font is basically the ones that don't have the lines at the end, like Sans. Is it Sans? I don't know. A Helvetica is a serif font, and then sans serif is like Times New Roman. Just to give you a picture. But yeah, you have a nice like basic font that's kind of thick. She's a little thick. And then you have a simplified version of your old logo. You think of Spotify, right? They have a very simple font. You think of Uber. Uber has always kind of had that futuristic font. They used to have the U as the app icon. But I think, and then they had that like circle. Like, it's like a circle, but in the middle. It's like if it was a cookie, someone took out a bite in the middle and then put a hole in the middle. I don't know. I don't know what that really was for Uber's icon. But what else? Netflix. Netflix is a big one. They used to have the Netflix letters poke out, and it had a drop shadow, a black drop shadow, right? This is when they were shucking DVDs out to you when you ordered them. So they went from that to drop the drop shadow. So keep it red and white. Didn't they do that? They did that. Or did they go black and red? I can't remember. But you can see that they went. I feel like Netflix is ahead of the curve on a lot of things. Like, they were ahead on this modernism stuff that people either love or hate, and then they simplified it even more, right? With the N. You know how you open up Netflix now and it's like da-dong, and the N, you go inside the N and it's like a bunch of lines. Like, it's crazy. like they're really making fun of the whole notion that they're an infinite streaming service and you'll never run out of content to watch. We're gonna brainwash you, which, maybe they will. But I think if they come out with more Netflix originals that we like, then we'll allow it. But anyways, I'm really going on a tangent here. I want to go over some really heated rebrands that people just seem to not like, and I want to hear from you guys in the YouTube comments, in Instagram. What do you think about these rebrands? What are your thoughts? Okay, welcome to Is It Good or Bad? Starting with Taco Bell. Now, Taco Bell, I've always liked their logos, like even the old ones. Usually you're supposed to hate an old logo and be like, ugh. Like I'm glad they changed it. I'm glad to see this logo changed. But the old retro Taco Bell logo from like the 70s, I thought is super cute. It was Mexican themed, right? Stereotypically Mexican, I might add. But it definitely hit the spot. It's colorful. It's very simple at the same time too. And it gets the point across as to what Taco Bell is. The previous Taco Bell logo, I thought was also very iconic and simple. And I believe they had like two versions of it. I believe there was an old one that they kind of fixed up, they zhuzhed it up, which was the purple bell and the yellow, what do you call that? The yellow thing inside the bell? I want to call it like a uvula, since it looks like a uvula. But basically, the purple and yellow bell is pretty much what everyone associates with Taco Bell. And people apparently hate the new logo, which is it gets rid of the yellow, and instead of doing a purple and a pink, well, sorry, yeah, it's a pink bell and a purple backdrop. It was it's now two tones of purple. One is a lavender-ish purple, kind of looks like a shadow almost, and then just a slightly darker purple as the other tone of the outline of the bell. That's very confusing, but look it up. It's like a simple take on the bell, and it's got this different font, slightly different font, but I think it still captures the essence of Taco Bell. Now, a lot of people would say the purple and yellow bell was more appetizing. But then I'd look at it and I'd be like, okay, but what am I hungry for? Taco Bell has really become a cult hit. You either love it or you hate it, right? And especially with Mexicans, I get a lot of hate for liking Taco Bell, but I think it's good food. And I think the remodeling they've done across their Taco Bells, it's very sophisticated. And that goes with this logo. That is my take on it. Patreon. Y'all remember Patreon? Well, people still use Patreon, but you remember seeing it on like YouTubers. They, ask to go support their Patreon because YouTube monetization is kind of yeah. So Patreon went under a rebrand. They used to have like this swirly P, and it was shaped like a P. It was a swirl shaped like a P, and it was the P was white, and the background was like this reddish orange. But now it's literally just the most simplified logo I've seen. It's a line and then a circle to make it look like a P. When I saw it, I thought it was a joke. I was like, okay, this is a fan's idea for a rebrand for Patreon. And it wasn't. It was literally what Patreon came up with. And I kind of like it. Like, it's grown on me. Patreon's new logo is something that grows on you. I 100% believe that. So if you don't like the new Patreon logo, you're stuck in the past. No, I'm kidding. But no, I think it's a good logo because I don't think it's about what it looks like. I think it's more about the story. And Patreon is very much about power to the people. And this is such an accessible logo. Like, it's almost the only logo to pull this off. I feel like if Pepsi just changed their logo to a circle, like, no one would no one would buy that, right? They wouldn't resonate with it. So Patreon, yeah, they went all the way to modernism. Like, they didn't look back. But okay, we're gonna go to break, and when we get back, we're gonna do a few more of these. What I think about new modern logos, and something else. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, we're back. I just got done watching Staples rebrand conference. I I don't even know where this was from, where this was filmed, but okay, it's just so funny. I'm gonna be linking it in the description of everything. Uh, okay, so basically, I'll describe it to you guys. Um, it looks like this, like, if you're into video games, it looks like an E3 conference. If you don't play video games, it's like a conference for Steve Jobs, R.I.P., and he's like showing off a new iPhone or something like that. That's basically the setting, right? But then it's like this video, this over the top video where it takes the old Staples logo and there's this triumphant music and it's transforming the Staples logo into the new one, which is basically just an upside down U, but it's widened out. Uh, but this music, like I said, is triumphant. The graphics on this, like, seven screen is over the top, and you would have thought that a new Avenger was being revealed or something. Like, this was gonna be some life-changing video or event, but no, it literally, the video, it goes from the regular staple, and then they straighten out the other staple. Like, you'll see it in the video. But it's so funny because all of these people are so hyped for it. And the reaction to the actual rebrand was like subpar. Um, but I mean, I gotta hand it to Staples. That video is kind of funny. And I don't know if that was their intent, but it just juxtaposes what Staples actually is. And I didn't work at Staples, but I worked at Office Depot one summer, and there's nothing exciting about that. There's nothing like, oh dang, I'm a hero. I'm gonna provide these kids their back to school supplies. God, it's just funny. Yeah, link will be in the descriptions. Another brand that everyone apparently hated the rebrand of is Tropicana. Guys, did y'all know about this? Did y'all know that Tropicana even rebranded at all? Um, Basically, what a lot of people were mad at is they got rid of the orange and the straw. The orange being like it looks like a photo of an orange, but it was photoshopped. And then in the orange is a red and white striped straw. And that is Tropicana's brand, right? They've built around this and whatnot. And that is their image, right? Like, when you think of Tropicana, you think of the straw. Um, but then they went for this ultra modern little thing. The carton is mostly white. Instead of the orange, it looks like a wine glass or a champagne glass filled with orange juice, except it's thicker. And then I really like the choice of font they did here because it kind of looks like their old one, except they removed the gradient and it's just flat and green, right? But apparently, a lot of people didn't like it because it removed the recognizability, or however you say that word. And uh and I get it. I get that part. But what I do think is different, and what I do think could have really separated them, like differentiated them from like normal brands or cheap brands or value brands as they call them, is this little pulp thing at the top. It's like I think it's the cap, and it looks like you can squish it. And it looks cool. I think that could have replaced the straw as something you associate with Tropicana. And I think people didn't give this one a shot, man. Like this is good design, but people are so up in arms about it and whatnot. It's a shame, but this was a good rebrand. I argue that to this day. Next up is Gap. Guys, did y'all know Gap did a rebrand? Like, it's so funny because these bad rebrands are either stay, or the press was so bad. The reaction from fans of Gap were so bad that they quickly, went back. They reverted back. Um, they basically just have a regular serif font, kind of like well, would you call it a serif font? Yeah, let's just keep it that way. And then instead of their iconic like blue square and then white letters inside, they have the letter outside and it's black, and then they have a gradient blue that's behind the P, so the P and the square are kind of overlapping. I'm trying my best to describe all these logos, but you can, just look them up for yourself. Um, I I don't hate it, but I do see the problem with trying to be recognizable after a rebrand, and yeah, it kind of looks like a different brand. I'll give modernism haters that you do lose a sense of who that brand was. And Gap maybe could have just gone with a different font change, like a slightly different font change, uh, because I think Gap is very very popular, very iconic for the 2000s, and a lot of people want to hold on to that nostalgia. I think Reebok, they did a great job of bringing back nostalgia, but at the same time, like being being onto this whole like modernist wave. So you can go check out Reebok's new logo. And then another one I wanted to talk about, which I'm trying to find, is Animal Planet. So I don't know if this is actually Animal Planet's new logo, but Animal Planet used to have like this outline of a elephant, like, and its trunk was going towards the earth. I like this logo, the past one. I didn't have a problem with it, and then they changed it to like this sideways typography that was green and a darker green and a lighter green. And apparently they're saying they changed it to this all lowercase black font, and then on top of it is a weirdly shaped elephant, kind of like an arch. It's like jumping. I don't think elephants ever jump like that. They don't leap. It's like prancing across the Animal Planet logo. Like, why would you do that, Animal Planet? This one I don't like. Because it's like, what am I watching? Am I watching PBS Kids or something? That's what it looks like. This is supposed to be a podcast episode about how I like modernism, and I'm like trashing some of them. It's so funny. MySpace. Now, MySpace is interesting because I think they did a rebrand all too late, man. They did this, I don't even remember, but obviously it wasn't when Tom was still asking to be your friend. But basically, it's a my and then a space. So, like, MySpace isn't the logo, it's literally a my space bar. And it's like, bruh, just give it up. Like, you already lost. You can't differentiate yourself at this point. But whatever, that was more of a joke one. So I did go over all of the ones I did want to talk about. What I wanted to end this off with was talking about the Super Bowl logos, because that's kind of what started this whole idea of me critiquing or defending some of these modern logos. But Super Bowl logos kind of lost their personality. If you look at old ones, they sort of made logos that resembled the city. And a lot of other what's the word? A lot of other sports leagues, major sports leagues in America, kind of have figured this out. Instead of doing the final game to be like representing the city, they make the All-Star game logo resemble the city. And then the finals, like in the NBA, is kind of, it's not as an iconic logo. It's just sort of, oh, this is the NBA Finals presented by YouTube TV, which that's another episode. But the NFL Super Bowl, for the longest time, used the Roman numerals and a separate logo as sort of like, I don't know. They treated it with respect. Like, they wanted to resemble the city that it was located in that year, and they wanted more personality. But now, like the past 5 years or so, it's just gray and silver, and it says Super Bowl, and then it's formulaic. And that is modernism I cannot stand behind. Is if you're gonna be the same every single year, the least you could do is make different logos, but have them some type of uniform. That, I think, is perfect, right? Because modernism isn't about making things simple and uniform. Modernism is about making things look clean, modern, obviously, and, keeping things, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, uniform, but different, with personality. If you can create a logo that's simple but still has personality, like that, you're a genius right there. You have good creative moxie right there. So, Super Bowl, step up your game, literally, and stop hitting each other in the head. That's what I gotta say. And the last thing I want to talk about is Netflix tried to rebrand Quickster. Netflix tried to rebrand to Quickster. Now, long time ago, Netflix used to send you DVDs in the mail. And then they went on the streaming train. Then they were like, hey, why don't we just put all these titles to stream? And we still have the mailing thing happening. Well, they tried to make Quickster the streaming service. Can you imagine, like, right now, talking about, oh, what are you watching on Quickster? Like, what? That sounds like a supermarket, fam. Or check out this Quickster original. Like, huh? You want me to quick what? No, so I'm really glad they did not go through with this, or, did not commit to this full way. I don't think Netflix would be at the popularity it is right now without its namesake. So good move on changing it back. All this to say that you can either do really great on a rebrand, or you can fall into flames. You know what I mean? In tough times, you got to really trust your gut. If it's something that you're second guessing or you're not really sure about, if it's with your own personal rebrand, do I have a following at this point that is like I have this recognizable brand, right? Like I have followers and people know me as a certain way. If I do a rebrand, will I lose a following? Will I lose loyal customers? Whatever it may be. And I think we do this a lot kind of unconsciously. Maybe you change up your style on Instagram, or maybe you change up your style in your art and people notice. And it happens a lot in music too, because artists are kind of like, maybe they've been making music for a long time and they're like, you know what, I want to change. Let's try something new. They're talking to their band or whatever. So there are fans that will like it and stand by you based on loyalty, like you have a loyal fan base. Or people will just, let you do whatever you want and kind of look for other artists out there. So a big reason why I bring this up too is because right now it is very difficult, not only in the art community, but in all industries, to find a job, right? And I think when people have their backs up against the wall, I think you got to try everything you can in order to position yourself to succeed. And in nowadays, there are a lot of people saying the market is saturated. The market is full of people. There's so many people on this planet that you have to really do something different in order to separate yourself from the competition, which is so true. But that doesn't mean you should use it as an excuse. That doesn't mean that since there are so many people, I shouldn't try. I think when you're in this economy and there aren't that many jobs out there, there's not a lot of people hiring, and it's getting tough to make ends meet, all you have left to do is shoot for the stars. Because what's going to happen? What do you have to lose, right? If you're stuck right now artistically, you have to have faith in yourself to go the further mile, or to scrap the whole thing and try again. Try something different. Because I don't think we'll ever have another chance to take risks other than when it's the riskiest. If you take a risk during a time that is very stable, you could either fail and, try again. But during these times, I think it's required to do something new. People want new, because what else do they have to look forward to? Not to be like a downer or anything like that, but we need artists to do new things, because it's what's going to push the culture forward. Right now, there are so many internet shows that are starting, and people are saying, you know what, we don't need to be together in order to make content. We don't need to be together in order to make these works of art. Adapt, adapt, adapt. Be yourself, but change your game plan, right? Don't be afraid to switch it up. Do all that you can during this time to make ends meet. If you got to take a marketing job at a construction company, do what you got to do to make ends meet. But at the same time, change up your craft, adapt to these new and changing times, and tell your story. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed me talking mess about these modern logos, or if you didn't know anything about rebrands and didn't really notice, let me know if you learned something. And I hope you got motivated or something like that from this episode. Hope you're doing well. Just want to let you know, you got this, baby. From H-Town, Texas, this has been your boy, John, and I hope to see you next time on In Progress Rough Draft. Bye.